It is very rare to be able to say that we have had a saint living amongst us. But then, Mother Teresa of Calcutta was indeed a very, very rare person. She mixed with nobility, politicians and popes in just the same way she mixed with the poorest of people and treated all completely equally. She lives on through her wise sayings and daily example. Life and work. Agnes Gonja Boliacha was born in Macedonia, formerly Albania, on the 26th of August 1910. Very little is known about the early life of Mother Teresa. Her father died when she was 8, and at the age of 12 she decided that her calling was to work for the poor and began her training for missionary work. At 18 she joined a group of Catholic Irish nuns, the Sisters of Loreto, and trained for months in Dublin before setting out with them to work in India. She chose the name Teresa after the patron saint of missionaries, Saint Therese of Lisieux. From 1930 to 1948, Teresa worked in a school teaching geography and catechism, later becoming principal. However, she felt that she had a very strong calling to work amongst the poor, and in 1948, Pope Pius XII granted her permission to become an independent nun to start the Missionaries of Charity. A number of her pupils followed her, and she established her first home in a former Hindu temple. There, she cared for those who had no one to care for them, including the disabled, ill, blind, the elderly, and those rejected by society. By 1952, she had established the first Home of the Dying in Calcutta. This was designed to give a chance for people to have a dignified death, no matter what the person's religion or background. Soon after this followed the opening of a hospice for lepers. In 1955, Mother Teresa saw the need to help the thousands of abandoned and orphaned children on the streets of Calcutta and opened her first children's home of the Immaculate Heart. By 1965, Pope Paul VI had given permission for the order to expand outside India, and the work of the missionaries expanded to parts of Asia, Africa, North America and Latin America, and any areas suffering from natural disasters and war. Her first home in the Bronx, New York, opened in 1971. In the same year, she won the Pope John XXI Peace Prize. So outstanding was her contribution to the poor that in 1979 she won the Nobel Peace Prize, followed in 1985 by the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Wherever she saw suffering, Mother Teresa responded in practical ways, including a hospital to care for those suffering radiation sickness from the Chernobyl disaster in the Ukraine, to a home for AIDS victims in New York. Eventually, she founded over 600 homes in 123 countries, not including all of the homes in Calcutta. In 1997, on the 5th of September, Mother Teresa died after years of ill health. The Indian government held a day of mourning for her, and she was buried at the Mother House of the Missionary of Charity in Calcutta. Many millions from a wide variety of religions mourned her passing. Some have criticised Mother Teresa for spending donations in expanding the number of homes, rather than investing more money into better care and facilities for fewer homes. Others argue that she was staunchly Catholic in her views and often spoke against such matters as abortion. She has certainly split opinion about her beliefs and choice of actions. However, she has left behind a legacy of incredible words and service through action for generations to ponder and to learn by. Suffering. Amazingly, Mother Teresa underwent a good deal of suffering herself. Spiritually, she was later to reveal that for nearly 50 years she struggled with her religious beliefs and rarely felt the presence of God. This caused her incredible pain, emptiness, and loneliness. Mother Teresa also experienced physical ill health, including 2 heart attacks, bouts of pneumonia, and malaria.
Let us begin the revolution of love. The joy of loving is inner joy of sharing. When my poor people are hungry for bread, I give them the piece of bread and I've solved that difficulty. But when they are hungry for love, lonely, unwanted, unloved, it takes very, very tender, compassionate understanding and love. And especially the suffering, the hungry, the naked, the homeless, they are all over the world. Like one man whom I picked up from the street, he said, I have lived like an animal, but I'm going to die like an angel. And he died with the most beautiful smile on his face, because he had been loved to the end. And where does this love begin? In our own family. And it's something so beautiful that love begins at home and that can spread like a burning fire from house to house. And by loving one another, we will spread throughout the world peace, joy, unity and love. It's a real revolution. I call it a revolution of love.
First miracle. The first miracle attributed to Mother Teresa is said to be the healing of cancer in an Indian woman called Monica Besra. This was followed by at least 2 further accounts of miracles that were researched by the Vatican. Beatification. Mother Teresa was beatified on the 19th of October 2003 by Pope John Paul II and named Blessed Mother Teresa. Beatification is the first step to sainthood. Canonization. On the 4th of September 2016, she was canonized, meaning declared a saint, by Pope Francis. Listen to this personal memory of Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa was actually incredible. When you met with her, her stature, she's relatively small in size, but she seems bigger than life often, and her hands kind of envelop your hand, and then she speaks very softly, so I found myself always kind of leaning in. But she's also very much an activist. She doesn't hesitate at any moment to be very active. So I went to the Mother House once and I met Mother Teresa and we were talking, and I said, I was coming down and I saw a man on the median strip and he looked like he was very much in distress. He had no clothes on and suffering. And she right away said, "Where was it? What time did you see him?" And I'll call, and she got right on the phone, called their people that handled their ambulance and sent the person out, and then she gave me a number. If you ever see someone, call this number and they'll get there right away, because I was thinking the work that they do, what should we do when we see people? In Calcutta, when I was there, had 3 million people living in the streets, actually without homes, and 1 million of them were children. And so it was the type of situation where you saw a lot of suffering. But Mother also was the type where I got a call one day from her, and she said, "Our sisters in Bangladesh need some assistance immediately." And I said, yes, Mother, but we have the assistance for India. I can't get it to Bangladesh unless we get approvals from the Indian government. And she said, what do I need to do? And so I told her, you know, you have to approach the governor of the state, and he has to authorize approvals and things. And so she said, you get the trucks, I'll get the approvals, let's meet in 2 hours. And so I'd go get our trucks filled with the supplies that they needed and our team on the ground, and I'd go over to meet with her. And certainly she would come out with all the approvals and things, put some sisters in our trucks, send them to border and get them across. So she wasn't someone to just send people to do it. She was the doer herself.
Key quotations. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Mother Teresa.